All right, we are here at my VermiHut indoor worm bin, and the last time we were in here, we rotated all the trays and we harvested one of them. So this is now a 3-tray tower system. So we put a lot of food all throughout, not just down a trough, and we put a lot of carbon, which in my case is the shredded cardboard on top. We didn't wet it down at all, it was all dry. And you can see after 15 days, it is pretty moist. So kind of the temperature control and the moisture control of a worm tower helps to spread out the moisture. So when we harvested, we didn't do it the normal way, which is I put a tray on top and kind of agitate and have the worms go down. We just took that tray off and then I baited them out. And when I baited them out, we pulled out a bunch of those worms from my new urban worm bag. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, there we go. And because we had so many, probably 1,000 in that harvest tray, I put some more back in here, and then I did a little time lapse where I let them go all the way down right here in the middle. So let's kind of move some of this stuff out of the way and let's dig in and see how they did with the feeding. Now, this used to be the inoculating tray, one of the inoculating trays, and then we fed it for the first time when we put it up here. And one of the things we put in here was 4 pieces of pumpkin, and it looks to me, other than maybe a little pumpkin skin, they absolutely obliterated it and turned it into castings. So that's what we're seeing here. A lot of the shredded cardboard along with a mix of the castings. Now on the sides, we put some banana peels and we also put some broccoli and some lettuce stalks and then a piece of squash on top. So let's dig around and see if we can find any of that. And I expect the banana peels to still be here probably. But as you can see, the worms did a really good job of coming up from the lower trays. So, you know, when you put a new tray on top, even if it's an inoculating tray from down below, all the worms that are throughout the system are going to seek out that food that you put in, and lots of great worms here. So I estimated before we did that baiting out and harvest that we had about 6,000 worms. So I think we probably took somewhere between 500 to 700 worms out. So we're about a 5,000 to 5,500 system right now as far as the worms go. And it's both red wigglers and blue worms. And I'm not finding any of the banana peels or broccoli. So maybe it's on the other side, or maybe they just totally got to them. Now the other thing I'm doing, because we just put this tray on 15 days ago and I only fed it once, is I need to mix it up really well. Because like I said, we put all those shredded cardboard right down the middle, and on the sides were some of the older castings and stuff while it was an inoculating tray down there. So let's go ahead and try and mix it up a little bit as we're doing this, and I'll just kind of pull some of the shredded cardboard over to this side, and then we'll come over here and look and see what we have over here. Okay, so here is a mango seed. That's right, some of the stuff that when we harvested I had pulled out, I put right back in here. So this is a mango seed, and inside is full of castings, and I actually see one little baby worm in there. They've gotten in there and they've kind of eaten the cotyledon. So let's see what else is in here. See if I put any banana peels here. This looks like, oh yeah, this is from a tomato, a vine-ripe tomato. You can see they eat it all the way through the individual soft fibers, I guess, from the tomato. And that's what you get out of it. It will take them a while to get rid of this stem. You see over here, still no banana peel. I'm really surprised that we're not seeing the banana peel after 15 days. That means that I've got a lot of worms in here that are able to devour that. And let's see about the squash. I thought I saw a little bit of it. And yep, there it is. Here is the squash. Look at that. They have eaten all the flesh out. And what we have is kind of the hard skin. In fact, it's kind of crunchy. So that's pretty cool. This is almost like, I don't know if this was like a small pumpkin or what, but it's got a little bit of a stem there. And they hollow that out. They really love the flesh of melons. So there we go. Let me go ahead and dig around, mix up, and then we will set up a feeding zone right here. I'm really impressed with the volume that this tray has. That's really good. We've got a little bit of a trough here, and we're going to go ahead and fill it with bedding and food. All right, so I'm going to start with a couple of cardboard tubes in here, and then we'll just go in with a handful of shredded cardboard and newspaper. And I absolutely love this shredded cardboard. It is tough. It actually creates little air pockets in there, so I find that the worms get to this and eat this better than, you know, straight shredded paper, which tends to mat down. So we'll lay it down there, and it's just going in dry because I'm going to put some food on here that's going to wet it. So here's what we had in mind. We've got some lettuce, some broccoli, another banana peel, and then we've got a whole avocado that I haven't pierced. And this has all been previously frozen before we put it in here. So we'll go in with some of this lettuce here, and it is very fast food. Usually within 2 to 3 days, this will be completely gone. And then here's something else that should be interesting. This is an apple, and this is a pear. And I tend to find that pears go like a fast food, and apples take longer. They are kind of a slow food. So we're gonna put these right by each other, and we'll see how they do. We'll throw the avocado in, and unless they pierce the skin, I expect this to kind of be the same as it is right now. And then in goes some of the fan favorites, broccoli, which always surprises me because if you set broccoli out, it will stink, but you put it in a worm bin and they get to it quick and it doesn't stink. And then I'll just dump the rest in there. We've got strawberry tops and a whole strawberry, which are a fan favorite, and then we've got our banana peel that we'll kind of put right here. And then now we are going to be ready for our amendments. So my first amendment is just some worm chow, which is expired grains and other things from my pantry that I put in here. And it's just a food source. It's not something that's mandatory for you to put into your worm bin. But I just find it to be a good way to get rid of some of my expired items instead of throwing them in the garden. And they'll eventually feed my garden. I meant to say trash. And then next we'll go in with some of my expired coffee grounds and tea grounds. Again, just another food source for them and a great way to put it into my garden instead of my trash. I think a couple seconds ago I said put it into my garden when I meant to say trash. And then finally, to get rid of my eggshells, I just wash them, and then I dry them, and then I just throw them in a Magic Bullet blender, and it pulverizes them like this, and the worms can use it for grit to aid in their digestion. All right, the executive producer, who is my lovely wife, reminded me that I forgot to put these. Usually I put some of the extra stuff in the bottom, but we will just kind of bury it somewhere when we cover up everything, and hopefully the worms will keep attacking it. So let's go ahead and cover up, and then what we will do is we will put a little bit of shredded cardboard to kind of fill in the gaps, because right now this bin the volume is pretty high here, but if I didn't put any more bedding in, eventually this would probably go down by another third, and I want to make sure I maximize my castings. It's also important to always put in bedding every time you feed. They need both the carbon and the nitrogen. So make sure that you are adding bedding every time you feed until you're about a couple weeks out from harvesting, and then you just don't want to kind of mess up your castings by adding, you know, tiny pieces of shredded cardboard. All right, so we'll put a little bit here on the cheeks and then a little bit over here on the other cheek. Executive producer thought that was pretty funny. So I hope you're all having a great day. I hope your worm bins are going real well. So happy vermicomposting, everybody. Take care now.